My business partner of 10 years quietly bought out my shares while I was in a coma because he told the hospital he was my next of kin. I woke up after 11 days unconscious following a car accident, groggy, confused, and completely unaware that my entire company no longer legally belonged to me. David and I had built the business together from a garage, literally, 2 folding tables and a second-hand laptop. 10 years later, we had 40 employees and a name people actually recognized in our industry. We'd never bothered updating our founding paperwork beyond the basics. No clear succession clause, no incapacity provisions. A mistake that seemed harmless for a decade, right up until the moment it very much wasn't. While I was unconscious, David told the hospital administrators he was my brother, using an old, expired emergency contact form I'd filled out years earlier during a completely different medical scare, one where he actually had briefly been listed by mistake. With that access, he obtained enough documentation to trigger an emergency buyout clause buried deep in our original operating agreement, one meant for situations of permanent incapacitation, not 11 days in a coma. By the time I woke up, my signature, or something resembling it, was already on a document transferring my remaining shares to him for a fraction of their actual value. I found out from our head of accounting, who called me in tears the day after I was discharged, terrified of what she was about to tell me. I confronted David directly, expecting some kind of guilt, some kind of hesitation. Instead, I got a lawyer's letter within 48 hours, calmly informing me the transaction was fully executed and, according to him, entirely legal. I spent the next 4 months building a case with an employment and corporate fraud attorney, gathering every piece of evidence I could find. Hospital visitor logs that never once listed him as family. Text messages between him and our accountant discussing the paperwork timeline while I was still on a ventilator. A voicemail he'd apparently forgotten to delete, discussing the window closing soon with someone I didn't recognize. The case dragged through mediation for months, exhausting, expensive, and deeply personal in a way business disputes rarely are. Here's the twist that ended it faster than any of us expected. The unfamiliar voice on that forgotten voicemail turned out to be a rival company CFO, one who'd been quietly negotiating to acquire our business the moment David secured full ownership. David hadn't just taken advantage of my coma to grab my shares out of ambition alone. He'd been planning to sell the entire company out from under both of us within a month, pocketing an acquisition payout that dwarfed anything either of us had made in 10 years of actually building the thing together. He wasn't betraying just me. He was betraying every single one of our 40 employees, all of whom would have lost their jobs the moment the acquisition closed and the new owners restructured everything from scratch. Once that voicemail became public in mediation, David's own lawyer dropped him within a week. The court fully reversed the buyout, restored my shares, and awarded damages that covered nearly every legal cost I'd spent fighting for what should have never been taken in the first place. David left the company entirely. I never heard from him again, and honestly, I've stopped expecting to. Our 40 employees still have their jobs today. The rival acquisition never happened, and I finally, 6 months later, updated every single piece of our legal paperwork properly, with a lawyer who specializes in exactly this kind of nightmare. 10 years of trust taught me nothing could break this partnership. 11 days unconscious taught me exactly how wrong I was, and exactly what real partnership actually looks like when it's tested.